Okay, hi. I was like right next to my apartment drinking like a coffee or something. At my college now, by the way. And like I was like, wow, my sister's usually back by now, back to the apartment, which means I don't want to be here because I like being by having privacy, I guess. But but then like she just kept on not coming back, and it was like, why is she not back at the apartment yet? Why she's usually here by now? It's 5 p.m. Why isn't she here? And then I was like, wait, I'm so close to the apartment. If I had gone back by now, I could have recorded myself watching the Magnus Archives. So, like, so I was like, the minutes kept ticking by, and I never saw her come. We have like Life 360, by the way, because our parents are crazy, and then I was like, she's not coming back, and I was like, I need to run back and record myself watching the Magnus Archives real quick. So I'm gonna do that. Last episode, a bunch of stuff happened. Tim being back in general. China. We're going to the U.S. I saw the summary. It says something about Jan Kilbride, which Gertrude mentioned, and she was the person, one of the people that was on, what was it called? The spaceship, the Daedalus? Daedalus? I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna just watch it. I'm just gonna listen to it, and I'll be trying to type up my weird statistics homework, but I wanna... Is she coming back? She better not be. She was there for like I was like there for 30 minutes, and she never came back. Okay, she's not on a bus yet, at least. Okay. A matter of perspective. 30 minutes, Jesus Christ. Stomach noise. Why is my audio not recording? What? My audio isn't recording. That's bad. Spotify? That's interesting. No, that's weird. That's really bad. Let me close Spotify and open it again. Frick! I don't have time. Spotify. Oh shit. Okay. Spotify. Why are you doing this to me? I know you. What the fuck? Okay. Now. Current device, this computer. Yeah. Why? No, actually. Oops, I had to sit up straight apparently. Well, I can slouch. Oh my god, it's not recording for some reason. My Spotify just did a weird update. Is that why? What the fuck? Maybe... What is happening right now? Oh my god, okay. Oh, this is so weird. Why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? My stomach is going crazy. It's not. They're announcing the Patreons right now. I mean, okay. Why are you like this? What's going on? If I wait, did that work? Oh my god. Come on! I don't have much time! Frickin' OBS! That's coming through my speakers, I know it is! Hello? Hi? Okay. How would you read those Patreons? Why is it still... Wait, what? It's just super quiet. Okay. You know what, just... Total War. Let me hear what it sounds like on my end. Whoa, okay. Oh god. Oh lord. Ads. Magnus Archives ads. It's impossible to hear. Why is it my headphones are new, so they haven't done this yet. Oh, let me... Oh yeah, in case you didn't notice, these are a new pair of the same headphones that I always use. Sure. Okay, let's see how this helps. Total or ghost people? Okay, let's see how, let me just crank this up. Filters.
I suppose there must have been a terrible smell, but there is nowhere here the wind does not chase me with that scent.
Okay, let's see how this goes. How does this sound? Me? Filters. Is that the sound of my own computer? Okay, let's see how this goes. I'm so loud compared to... I'll just lower myself a little bit. Okay. Oh my god, my computer sound is so disgusting. It's because it's very old and dying. Okay, Total War. Goodbye. Patrons. Oh my god, is my sister coming home? She's not. Okay. Sorry. Chris Sims. Yes, it's working. Okay. I guess I could put it up a bit. How's my slouching position? Okay. Oh, someone's watching. Weird. Wonder who that is. Homeworking. Okay. I dropped my paper in the rush of things. Okay. One last audio check from me. How does this sound? Watching. Weird. Wonder who that is. Okay. Ooh, Melanie. This statement. Melanie? Yeah, Melanie. God, I can't forget people's names. Yeah. Stop. Fucking vlogger.
To really get your head around is the scale at which the universe operates. You can drill down so small that you reach particles and building blocks that your brain simply can't connect to the physical reality that you inhabit. The fact that the vast majority of your own body is
Okay.
empty vacuum. Space filled only with the weak forces that are binding your disparate atoms to one another.
I guess atoms are scary now, because that scared me. Intellectual horror. Oh no.
Too much for most people. And at the other end, the sheer size at which the universe operates literally cannot be fully conceptualized by the human mind. We have to reduce it to factors, or long strings of comparative zeros. Most people can't even properly appreciate the size of our own planet, seeing it only in crudely rendered diagrams or maps. But compared to us,
I had a discussion about the universe like last week. It was terrifying.
large enough the swell of humanity to grow and ultimately extinguish itself. Yet compared to the wider universe, it isn't even a noticeable speck. The human mind would reflexively want to place us at the midway point, a perfect center, balanced between the incredible size of the universe and the unthinkable smallness of the subatomic. But this is nothing but ego, a manifestation of our obsession with considering ourselves some sort of normative benchmark against which all else is measured.
The person I was talking to was studying to be an astrophysicist, so
mindless atoms
very disturbing.
than we are to a universe so enormous that fully imagining it is simply impossible. Even with all I've seen, I still can't communicate it. I can't make people actually understand how horridly, nauseatingly boundless this universe is. And when I think of it too deeply, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Like a sort of existential vertigo. It never used to.
I'm a big Vast fan. I have a t-shirt.
Comfort in it, in the thought that we
You already
were
know about that.
so small minor
think.
blip in the life of the
Enjoy Sky
universe.
Blue.
Where others saw insignificance and pointlessness, I found freedom. A sort of optimistic nihilism, I suppose. I know now it was all just denial, of course. It's not easy to be scared of something.
It's not fun to hear that optimism is denial.
I miss those days, smoking out the window of a tower block, looking out over the lights of the city blinking up in defiance of the void, and thinking how daft it was. Like an ant shaking its fist at a god. I think that's really why I wanted to go to space. To put it all in perspective.
Space.
Just for one moment, I could look down and see it all. Every human that ever existed, the living and the dead, hanging below me on a tiny ball of carbon. And you know what? It was worth it. At least I thought so at the time. That moment, that first look at the Earth falling away below us, it was everything I dreamed it would be. And how often is that true? The Daedalus was in low enough orbit that I never got the whole
It is the Daedalus.
view as I had hoped, but it didn't matter. The first time looking down and taking in the sheer scale of it remained the most magnificent sensation I have ever experienced. I don't know how they picked me for the mission. I represented
They know.
some private
You got that wide brain.
a year beforehand. I'd put in my application a few times, but I never really expected anything. I had all the skills, but I knew I wasn't anyone's first choice of astronaut.
Oh, dang.
He wasn't exceptional enough. Or so I thought.
Nah, you got that space brain.
Didn't mention exactly why,
Like
though he did
the Fairchild name.
in the interview.
Every time he shows up.
Thinking too hard on the reasoning in case I somehow lost the opportunity. Idiot. There were technically 3 of us up there, although I only really spent any time with Manuela. The other one who came up with us, Chilcott, I think his name was, he was apparently doing some sort of separate isolation study. Can't say I envied him. The door to his section of the station was daunting.
You have no idea what was going on in there.
I'm an engineer, and honestly, it looked like it was sturdier than the actual hull. Manuela and I
Poor
were
guy.
instructed not to attempt any communication with him, and to be honest, that was fine by me. On those occasions, we had to call into his little chamber through the intercom, usually as part of maintenance or a systems check. He always sounded so distant. This flat, tinny monotone that set my teeth on edge.
What did I just hear?
On those occasions, we had to call into his little chamber, and honestly, it looked like it was sturdier than the actual hull.
That was weird.
Manuela and I were instructed not to attempt any communication with him, and to be honest, that was fine by me. On those occasions, we had to call into his little chamber through the intercom, usually as part of maintenance or a systems check. He always
Intercom.
sounded so distant. This
No, I'm going back again.
communication with him, and to be honest, that was fine by me. On those occasions, we had to call into his little chamber through the intercom, usually as part of maintenance or a systems check.
He didn't hear you.
He always
You didn't
sounded
talk
so
to him.
distant.
No, he didn't talk to anyone. I know that. I know that.
Set my teeth on edge, like
It wasn't
a
him.
vibration.
It's a weird, freaky
So we left.
spaceman. It's the spacesuit in space.
We had plenty of
That was not him. He did not hear you.
Dominguez was quite a big name in certain areas of the physics community, or at least she had been. I hadn't heard of any work she'd done for a good few years. As I say, I'm more on the engineering side of things, so it wasn't really something I kept up with in detail. While she was happy to talk, Manuela apparently didn't like to discuss her professional life on Earth, or the specifics of the research she was doing. with the Daedalus.
Manuela.
Like Chilcott, her research was kept entirely separate from mine, and while we spent plenty of time together, I never did figure out exactly what it was. Something to do with lasers, I think.
Lasers. We're gonna hear about that later.
My job, to be honest, it felt disappointingly like busy work. Stress testing, zero gravity effects, material evaluations. For every test I was told to do, I could have listed a half-dozen studies citing similar research from the ISS, most of which had had pretty conclusive results.
So what's going on here?
Me, I was just being instructed to do the same things they did over there, but 2 years later, I'd have been hard-pressed to argue. But there was something else.
That was a good but.
Sort of worry that was building.
Very worryful.
It was like a gradual increase of air pressure. You never notice it happening until your ears pop. Didn't realize how intense the sensation had gotten until all at once I knew what it was. What I was feeling. It was the sense of a presence. Of there being something out there. Something that wasn't the Earth. And it was getting closer. When it started, I tried to talk to Manuela about it. But she seemed to think I was talking about aliens and quickly changed the subject.
Rip.
In a way I was, but
I'm talking about the astronaut man, okay?
alien might be the best word for that presence, but not because
Not space alien, more so
but because what it made me feel was beyond
existence alien. Yeah.
and still it grew closer. When this thing, this being, finally called out, I didn't just hear it, I felt it vibrating through me with such a shuddering intensity that I was sure my bones would break into powder inside my skin.
Full body chills. Thanks, Magnus Archives.
Shook violently.
It's just good voice acting.
My first instinct was to check
Shaking
the Earth was still below us,
in
and I
space.
was a victim of some dreadful cosmic disaster. But when I reached the window, it still hung there, serene, below us. As I looked, I saw drops of red floating through the air in front of me.
Red.
I reached up to my ears, and my hand came away wet.
Your ears are bleeding.
Don't try to tell me sound can't travel in a vacuum. I know. I pushed off towards my quarters and the medical kit. As I began to move through the station, I stopped. I didn't grab or hit anything. I did nothing to slow my momentum. I just stopped. Floating there, motionless, feeling like the whole of existence was frozen in place. Then, slowly, carefully, I went to grab one of the handles, to pull myself out of this zero-gravity limbo. But I couldn't reach. The station was cramped. So cramped that I could only fully stretch out in the section used to exercise, but now, somehow, in this tiny corridor, I couldn't reach the walls. I flailed, and I grabbed, and I shouted.
What the fuck is
Somehow
this?
it was all just too far away. And
Okay,
I knew all at once
Too far away.
that I would
Vast.
float there,
E.
motionless.
Okay, that's kind of vasty. For a minute, that's okay.
And I saw the pointless
I saw a bit of like
station,
claustrophobia stuff,
planet
which is like
below,
the grab people.
all hiding
but
me
I guess
from
the floating
uncaring expanse
is very
of the universe.
uncaring universe, is still very vasty.
Eternally trapped. The station a hollow pretense of a shell that did nothing to separate me from the void. And that cry came again, so loud and long and deep that it couldn't not be the sound of a living thing, so vast and so ancient that thinking about it made me weep. And I screamed in turn. My hand touched the rail at the exact moment that Manuela came to check on me. I was moving again. She asked if I was all right, though she clearly had no interest in the answer. She said she'd felt the station shake, but when I pressed, she claimed she hadn't heard anything. Her eyes were red, and I noticed for the first time that the tips of her fingers were burned. I don't know why I asked her, really. I knew then that she hadn't heard it, that she would never hear it, and I felt completely alone. I remember I almost envied Chilcott, because at least he had known what he was signing up for.
Well, I don't know about that.
More normally, I think. Though beyond a certain point, at the edge of everything you've ever known, the word normal loses its meaning. Manuela became more and more withdrawn, more focused on her own research, whatever it might have been, while I more or less stopped doing mine entirely. I got no new instructions. I would find myself staring out into space for a few minutes, and then when I checked the time, hours would have passed. I don't remember if I slept. I honestly can't remember if going out to work on the solar panels was repair work, or if I'd finally been given a new task that required going outside. I just remember sealing the bulky EVA suit and stepping into the airlock, pushing myself out into the nothing. The tether coiled out behind me, spooling meter after meter after meter, but I wasn't going towards the solar panels. Why? Where was I going? I floated slowly off into the empty, unending space, and the tether line just kept on going. The station drifted further and further away. I could feel myself falling up, falling out, falling off of everything that could be called a world. The station was gone, as was the planet of my birth. Everything that gave me my existence. It shrank as I watched until it became less than the smallest dot. I couldn't have been that far away. It's impossible. But I was. I was so far from all existence, surrounded by the vacuum of everything. I could feel my soul trying to expand, to fill the never-ending absence, and it hurt. I don't know how long I was floating for. I know it was less than 1 billion years, which is barely a heartbeat in the life of the universe, so how can it really be said to matter? The stars began to wink out, one by one.
Thanks, existentialism.
Perhaps for a second, perhaps for 100 years, that I had reached the end of time, and I was watching the gradual fading of the universe. And then I realized the obvious. I could not see the stars because something was blocking them.
Was it a big hand?
Flowed across my vision. Every motion seemed
Was it a
to
spaceman?
light. There was no shape to see. No outline that could be drawn of this thing so dark and enormous. I could feel my stomach trying to vomit, my mind trying to expand.
So not an
taking
ocean
the
hand.
size of what moves between the stars, filling my entire vision.
Good
and
sentence.
more. I knew that if it chose to cry out, it would have destroyed me utterly. And I know that there was no possibility it could ever notice I existed. I do not believe in God. I can't believe that a being with such limitless power and knowledge would still notice humanity, would understand or care about its existence.
It's like the trademark of this series. Lovely.
I keep thinking back to an old professor of mine, back when I briefly studied neuroscience, talking about consciousness, about how we still don't honestly know what it is, where it comes from, what aspect of the brain makes it possible. And I wonder if there might not be consciousnesses out there so far beyond our comprehension that we could not properly recognize them as such. Minds so strange and colossal that we would never know they were minds at all. Perhaps, out there in the endless vast, they would not notice or recognize us in return. And I wish that I could convince myself that ignorance was the same thing as death. But then, how many weeds have you unthinkingly stepped on in your lifetime? Statement ends.
The vast is so cool.
That, well, that seems to be that's all of it.
Personality switch.
Well, Jan Kilbride definitely returned.
Good actor.
to Hollywood.
Very good actor.
Certainly seems to have given this statement in person, so I mean, he did come back somehow, assuming he ever left. It might have been a hallucination of some sort. Isolation and stress can do odd things to you.
Okay, Jonathan Sims, season 1.
Not to mention the evident insomnia. And if it is true, if what Jan Kilbride saw was real,
Wait,
I mean,
Gertrude
it sounds a bit beyond my pay grade.
talked about asking Ian Kilbride to do something or help her or something.
Having nothing to do
Guiltily.
of my own to deal with. I did do some checking on the Daedalus. I mean, you've got to do something, haven't you?
The second time we've seen this.
Kilbride seems to have the right of it in terms of his job. There have been exactly as
I thought
zero
Ian Kilbride was a female.
research that have in any way referenced or cited studies or tests conducted on the Daedalus. From the point of view
Just
of
like that isolation guy.
the project might as well have never happened. Also, I can't find Jan Kilbride. He definitely returned. I found more than one photograph of the trio's arrival back on Earth. Carter Chilcott being attended by medical personnel and the other two looking tired but alive. There are also a couple of short newspaper stories mentioning their safe return. But it seems as though Kilbride made his way over to the Institute a few weeks after touchdown, made his statement, and then nothing. I can't find any sign of him, and neither can Basira or Martin.
Gertrude
At least.
killed
It really
sacrificed
say he vanished
to the
into thin
sky
air.
god.
He vanished into something. Beyond that, there's only a few things worth.
Hey, you ready for that drink?
Oh, yes. Just give me a second. Finishing off a statement.
Oh, sorry. I thought, because the door was open.
No, I just needed a bit of airflow.
Yeah, it is not cool down here.
Somewhere in the basement, I suppose.
Yeah. Speaking of not cool, did Martin say he was coming today?
Wow. Ouch.
Oh, what? You're gonna judge me? I literally don't know anyone here you haven't made cry.
You only know Tim and Martin.
And Elias.
I made Elias cry.
I don't know, probably. You can be very
I don't think.
Right.
Well, maybe.
The jury's still out on Elias.
She keeps trying to kill me.
Martin's always been lovely to you.
I don't know, I mean, you should have seen him when I turned up last year. I think he thought I was trying to steal his precious archivist.
Didn't they think you were romantically involved?
With his sauce on the inside stuff. Martin was not impressed.
That boy needs to relax.
Or at least find someone else to fuss over.
Yeah, he's got it bad. Do you know if he and John ever...
No clue and not interested. Although
The gossip is insane.
doesn't. Like, at all.
Oh. Do you know if he and John ever...
No clue and not interested. Although,
Valid.
according to Georgie, John doesn't. Like, at all.
Doesn't have sex? That's what we're implying here.
Wait, hang on. Do I know Georgie?
I don't think interested.
Wait, I keep missing things because I'm talking.
Georgie, John doesn't. Like,
Let's skirt around the actual words.
Let's explain some stuff. Wait, hang on. Do I know Georgie?
I don't think so. Georgie.
Basira said asexual. I knew it.
Oh, okay. I used to love that show. I mean, the first couple of seasons at least. It was a weird turn in season 3 when they introduced...
Well, she and John,
Damn.
they dated.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
They did
ago.
give that vibe.
I used to put on podcasts when I was driving around, when I wasn't on duty.
Me too. Not on duty, but
I literally
listening to this.
cannot picture Daisy listening to the radio.
The Archers.
No.
Hands of God.
I actually do not believe you.
She never missed an episode.
I don't know these. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Do we need to finish up?
No, I actually, I have no idea what I was going to say. I did have more notes on space.
Real.
But, forget it. Let's go.
Alright, well, I should probably go check in with Martin. You know, see if he's in for drinks.
So you can double check your gossip.
I don't gossip. I have the mind of an investigator.
Right, okay. Anyway, I'll go find him. I could really do with the walk. Do you want to go ahead and grab the booth?
Yeah, sure. I can wait. I've got a book.
Of course you do.
That was crazy.
Melanie,
Oh.
Martin said you wanted to see me?
yes. Please come in. I thought it was about time for your first performance review.
I didn't even know that was,
We can't get fired, so.
scheduled.
Well, given the recent tensions in the office, I thought it probably best if you weren't aware of it in advance.
Right,
Less time to prepare. You understand?
right.
So, have a seat. You've been with us a few months now, I believe.
Yes.
And how are you finding it?
Is that a joke?
Aside
Me when I'm a hostage?
Oh, well,
I keep talking over what they say.
You've been with us a few months now, I believe.
yes.
And how are you finding it?
Is that a joke?
Aside from the obvious, I mean.
Okay.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I suppose it's been unstructured. Without John around, and with you being sat up here lurking, there's not been a lot of useful direction.
I see.
I mean, you pick out a statement occasionally, and John might phone in to ask after some scrap of information, but to be honest, no one's even really told me what an archival assistant is actually supposed to do.
So how have you been occupying your time?
Reading, mostly. Doing some of my own research.
To what?
My
Murder. Oh, okay.
Plotting my demise.
when I get a chance. Yes. I suppose that doesn't look very good on my review.
Quite frankly, no.
Well, if you need to fire me, I won't make a scene.
Would be great.
No, I'm afraid not.
Sure.
I wish I knew the words that would make you believe me.
What? That you are a literal dead man's switch?
No. If that was the only issue, I could simply place the knowledge in your mind.
I.
You already have doubts, though. You've been talking with Tim and have convinced yourself that even if I'm
You could do that?
I'm too dangerous to live. Well, whatever I'm planning,
Sacrifice.
cost a few lives, including your own.
Damn.
Not
I did.
Rationalization, of course.
Oops. I accidentally clicked something. But I did think that. Like, Georgie, why are you still trying to kill people when. Oh, Melanie, Georgie. Wrong ghost shower. Why are you still trying to kill him if it's gonna kill all of us? But, like, I assumed at some point she had to come to the realization if he did die and we all died, then the world would be better off for it. Like, I'll sacrifice us for the sake of the world, which makes sense since we know this guy has supernatural powers. We know the state of statements that are terrifying with people with supernatural powers, and he's killed people. Yeah, so yeah, good to know. Also, he said he could just plant knowledge in people's mind, which is okay. I didn't know about that. I wonder. Doubt something about Tim.
A lie about your own selfishness, that you would rather be dead than trapped without the self-determination you prize so highly. I wish I knew the words to convince you it's for the best.
Are we done?
It's too deep. I can see almost anything I care to, read knowledge from someone's mind or place it there, but I just
Dang.
can't change the nature of a person. And I am sure
Very strong-willed.
God could rid you of this misguided rage.
So let
She has made Elias cry.
kill me.
Well,
internally.
It's the second such ultimatum I've heard in as many weeks. But no, there are always other options. And I'm not above that.
Did John say that? Did he say like kill me or something?
I've got nothing.
That's almost true. Your life is indeed shockingly absent of any meaningful connections. That's actually one of the reasons I
Well.
chose you for this job. Your father was your last real anchor.
Oh God.
That's none of your business.
Perhaps. 5 years is plenty of time to grieve.
Stop
Real tragedy, isn't it?
knowing things. This is personal. Why do you always do this? What? Especially so
He
early.
remembered you, didn't he?
Early.
Little one.
Shut up.
At least you got him into a decent care home. Hard to afford on an irregular income like yours, but your mother's life insurance helped plenty. And Ivy Meadows wasn't as expensive as some of them.
Ivy Meadows?
It's a shame about the fire. But I'd have
A bunch of freaky shit happened.
of a relief.
What are you talking about?
Is that the... Ivy Meadows... I guess he said fire. No, it's... I was like, that's the weird disease one that the mortician or some... Not the mortician. Someone, like, from a dead people place came... And it was, like, all diseased or something. Like, it was a cool place, and then it got taken over by this guy who had flies around him or something, and everyone was, like, gross and sick or something. And then, I think maybe at the end, some other guy showed up, and, like, he was just behind the building or something, and he was with someone else, maybe, with that short lady, and they burned it down. I can't keep track of these entity rivalries. Oh my God, I'm bad at this. Okay, I'll look that up after the episode.
And Ivy Meadows wasn't as expensive as some of them. It's a shame about the fire. But I'd have thought it would offer something of a relief.
What are you talking about?
Of course. They told you he died in his sleep, didn't they? Smoke inhalation. A real tragedy, but at least he didn't suffer.
He probably suffered, huh?
Awful, isn't it?
That was foreshadowing, huh?
Not
Holy
really
shit.
awful, just bad luck.
The whole planting knowledge
Does it?
Take it back.
and someone
Back.
I'm afraid that's not really something I can do.
in someone else's mind.
Promise not to make it worse.
It's like, I don't take away knowledge. That's not my... But also... Holy shit. He mentioned it. Chekhov's gun, he mentions it twice. He's like, by the way, I can put things in people's mind. And I was like, wow, you've never mentioned that before. And then he did it. And I'm like, oh. People say comedy comes in threes. The opposite of comedy comes in threes.
You know how your father really died, and I am sure
These are
that it's
some
something
sad
that is
noises.
painful for you. But be aware, if I choose to, I can make you see it. If you try to interfere with me again in any way, I will drive that image so deep into your psyche that even if you are right, even if you live, it will be there every time you close your eyes. That's all right. Take your time.
He said, bye.
Tell you what, why don't you take the rest of the day off? I'm sure you have a lot to process.
What the fuck?
Anyway, I'd say your performance has been satisfactory.
End of the episode.
The Magnus Archives is a podcast distributed by Rusty Quill, licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 international license. Today's episode was written by Jonathan Sims. Join our communities on the forum via the website or on Reddit at r/themagnus.
So okay. So I thought we ended the statement with half of the episode to go, but I was still thinking that wow, the most eventful thing to happen this episode was Basira and Melanie discussing John's sex life, and then it's like Melanie, let's go out for a drink, and I'm like, oh, I guess they're gonna go for a drink at the end of this episode, just like that one Merton episode where what was that one? There was something. So I don't know. I'm bad at. Is it the pig one? Maybe it might have been pig episode. But then a lot of things happened, like mind torture. That was a threat. It's like, by the way, Melanie, stop trying to kill me. I'm gonna traumatize you. That's not very nice. Holy shit, okay. Oof. Okay, let me, what's it called? Take an L. It was the Amherst guy that showed up, right? It's culminating in a fire. The care home. Okay. Me being casual over whatever the hell just happened. Oh god. Okay. 'Cause it's a family member, you know. I'm not like old enough to have like any of my parents in a care home, to have someone I'm really close to be in a care home. I have had a great grandmother who was in a care home for a while, so it's not like a personal pain there, but I totally understand, because most people would understand their loved one dying a gruesome, awful, disgusting death or such would be terrifying and awful. And seeing it, or thinking all for 5 years that they died in their sleep would. And then learning that it was horrendous. Oh, that's bad. John Amherst. Yeah, he had flies around him, and a fly crawled across his eye. Incredible. Okay. Creamy, weird rashes, bad smell, bad deaths. We take an L. We've passed away. What a normal thing to say. The smell sucked. Swarm of flies from people's mouths. No, it was not the short woman. It was a tall woman. Old man with with unblemished pink skin and a young tall, large canvas bag. It burned down. Oof, I'm sorry. Nicole's left hand was lost, which is what she touched the yellow weird stuff, probably. Oh, Jonathan Sims said it was Trevor the Tramp. Jonathan Sims said it was Trevor the guy from the vampire episode that I thought was irrelevant for a little bit until this episode happened. I was like, what? Trevor the Tramp, who killed vampires for 2 episodes. And that's when John got the zipper lighter with the spiderweb pattern. And that's when they got the table, which John destroyed, so unfortunately, in season 2. Sorry. But yeah. I don't. That's. Yeah. Because it seems that everyone in that care home got, swallowed by flies and other gross such things. And this is like when that statement happened, it was like the beginning of the connections forming, because John was like, this kind of reminds me like thematically of the Jane Prentice stuff. So it's like that whole like contamination, bugs, grossness stuff, which actually I still don't know exactly, because there's the hive, and maybe that's what Jane Prentice was like how there's the distortion, and the distortion is part of the distortion is part of no, it's not part of the strange. The distortion is part of the spiral. I don't have they name dropped that yet. That is because I apologize, but that is one of the first Magnus Archives like things I heard about, like unintentionally. I accidentally read. I've probably mentioned this before, but before I started watching it, I accidentally read a Magnus Archives fanfiction AU that I didn't know was a Magnus Archives AU. It was a Dream SMP fanfiction. And it was accidentally a Magnus Archives AU, and I didn't know it before I read it. So, in that sense, the people, they were like the characters were entities, and the ones that I heard of were the Vast, the Spiral, and I think all I remember was the Vast and the Spiral. But I'm sure we've heard of the Spiral at this point, or at least did Leitner give it that name? At least we've heard the name. Like I know we've my rewatch was for nothing. I know we know that this entity exists, but I don't know if we've heard the name exactly. I believe most likely that Leitner gave it to us, because that just makes the most sense. He gave us a lot of names about what he liked to call them. But yeah, in terms of like the bugs, and yeah, what I was saying was maybe Jane Prentice was the hive in the same way Michael was the distortion, and the distortion was like a branch of the spiral, and maybe the hive is a branch of this combined bug, the contaminant entity, which makes a lot of sense, I think, because of how often they're described together in terms of like feeling of unclean. Like one episode called it the distinct feeling of being unclean. Pretty sure Jonathan Sims coined that. But yeah, I'm talking about this care home now, even though that's probably not the focus. Like we know, they got consumed by dirt and such, by illness. Terrible, gross illness, probably vomited some flies and other such things. I keep saying such too much. It's because I've been doing homework and I use the word such. Aside from that, the actual statement was about the Daedalus and we heard the other side of the story. There's some freaky shit in there because a lot of it's like somewhat similar to, because we know this is really cool when the spaceship thing was like the spaceship episode happened, because first it was like another vast thing, and I was like, oh my god, it's the sky guy, it's Simon Fairchild, and then but at the end it was like Fairchild, it was Lucas, it was the lonely. I'm sure we've heard it called that by now. You know what sucks? The Magnus Archives, I feel like I've said this before, the Magnus Archives YouTube channel, I'm subscribed to it because I like to be subscribed to the things that I watch. I'm subscribed to it on this channel, and they have playlists for all the entities, so I've been spoiled for like a couple entity names, which like not on purpose. I've tried to shut down the ones that I have seen, but I can't identify which ones I have. I feel like I've heard of the lonely before. They've said it before, but they probably haven't like clarified. This happens a lot when I was rewatching, I heard them say stuff like beholding. Oh my god, what the heck is that? Okay, whatever. I heard them say, they said stuff like beholding, and they said like, they said like lightless flame. They said these things. They said the names before I knew they were names, so I couldn't recognize them as names. So I believe we probably heard lonely before, but I don't know exactly if we've got it like super solidified that this is the name. We know the stranger by now, very much. But yeah. What the heck was I talking about? Yeah, it was like, I think the darkness people were also involved in the spaceship experiment, because like space is everything. Space is like all fear. Space is fear. Space is such a good fear space, because it's there's the nothingness, the lack of light, the lack of, there's that darkness to space. There's the loneliness. There's the isolation of nothing. And there's the vastness of it, the infinite everything, such that you are nothing, such that make it get out of my head. It's very cool, and that's when it like all came together. It was like, oh my god. But yeah, now we got another side to it. This was very vast focused, unlike the other one, which was at least lonely and vast, because there was the whole looking down, there was no earth thing, and there was no looking down, no earth deal, and then there was the whole awful isolation thing, and I can't get out and stuff like that. It was also, but this one felt a lot like kind of like the sea statement, but with no giant hand. It was it was more than a giant hand. There was atoms, and there was like the thing between the stars, and another, it's like that underwater one, the diver. So yeah, it's very cool to see the other side of this, because it was foreshadowed a long time ago that there was other people on the ship, but it was like the sound too. The sound is strange. I don't know exactly what to pin that down as. Maybe just crazy shit, but there was also the other person on the ship who was just like, I wonder if we'll hear their account later. That'd be super cool if throughout the series we hear every account from every person on that spaceship. But yeah, it was Melanie having an awful time. Everyone has an awful time. Basira reads a lot, it seems. We seem to go drinking a lot now, which is nice. We have a little rapport going on, and we're talking about people. But they really had to make fun of Martin like that. They really, they like that. I know they liked Martin, but they did him dirty. The gossip is insane. Oh my god. They basically went like dude, move on. like It was like, Martin. They were like, they like assumed that like they're like, Martin, you have no chance. I was like, oh my god, what the hell? I've never said anything. To be honest, I'm bad at picking up on like subtle like hints of romantic attraction. Except for the stupid like John Martin compilation video that shows up in my recommended on the side on this account, and I'm like, why do you do this to me? I'm in literal season 2 right now. Stop talking. But it's so it's like I'm very bad at picking up on that stuff. But I'm like, but the moment I saw that this was a thing, or I was like, people seem to think that this is a thing, and I'm like, I see it. Like, but I'd never comment on it without Martin being ready to talk about it. Just let it be what it is, okay? Let the pace dictate itself. Don't, you know? If Martin's just being overprotective and a little bit obsessed, not obsessed, but like overly overly invested in John and his opinions and his maybe that's but it can be platonic. Jeez. Why'd you say that explains a lot, Basira? They really did everyone. They did them both dirty. Gossip never helps. Gossip should be illegal. Oh my god. Oh. My sister is still freaking out and it's 6 p.m. Let's go. But yeah, they did John, because it's real. I mean, this one I was like, this is a little, because we met in college and now I'm staying at your house and now I was like, I still care about you. The deal. I'm like, yeah, okay. Something went on here, but I was like, this seems, I don't know. You know. But yeah, that makes sense. But then, you know, like, again, God, I'm mixing up the names and now I keep forgetting their names. Melanie and the person we're staying with, I know their name, I just said it a couple minutes ago, I forgot. John's old roomie. Dang. She really told Melanie about that, huh? Yeah. Supposed asexual John. Eyebrow raise you can't see, cause I have bangs. I'm bad at eyebrow raising. Okay. I'm like, yes. Okay. Ace represent. Okay. But, well, maybe not. Who knows? Yeah. Why would you say that to him? I'm still offended. Like, why would you tell him to give up on that? He doesn't have to give up. He can still care. Even if you think there's an angle to that caring. Basira really said, how they? I'm like, that's the reason Martin's so clingy. And I'm like, damn, okay, I didn't think we talked about this. I thought this was just like an unspoken thing going on, like leave him be, you know? I spent too much time talking about the drama. Okay. Okay. And it's like, yeah. I'm still never getting over that. That explains a lot. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's a what stereotype is that? Is that a stereotype, or is that coming like no wonder he doesn't get any. No wonder he's so pissed. I'm like, what? What was the implication? Tell me the implication. I don't know. Either way, I'm offended. Everything. Everyone has been offended. How dare you do that to my favorite characters? Question mark. I know John's my favorite character, but I don't know. I like Tim though. I like Tim a lot. I don't hate anyone. I don't hate Merton. Is Elias above Merton? I do like. Oh, her name is Georgie. Frick, because I was about to call Melanie Georgie, and I was like, oh, that's how I remember her name by accidentally calling her someone else. I do like Georgie. But I think it's the OGs, guys. And characters in my character ranking list is characters in order of appearance, basically. Even though Elias appeared beforehand, we didn't get him until kind of recently-ish this season. So basically, I liked Melanie and John's geeking out that one episode. That was just general good impression of her. So yeah, I don't know. Would it be John, Tim, Elias, Martin, Melanie? Basira or Daisy? I like, because Daisy got introduced earlier, and she's Melanie got not. Oh, what the fuck? Basira got introduced earlier, and she's more chill about it. She's more just straightforward. Daisy's more intense. I don't hate Daisy, even though she kidnapped John. It's just very interesting, a very sort of dark character, But it really is characters in order of appearance. Characters in order of appearance. Frickin' Basira goes first, then Daisy. I'm so bad. It's just my level of attachment to them. Well, I guess Martin showed up before Tim. Oh fuck! I forgot how badly John how much John bad talked Martin. He bad-mouthed Martin in season 1. John was such a dickhead to Martin, in season 1. It was crazy. How did I forget that? When I was rewatching the series, I was like, every time he said something about Martin's, working abilities or his, common sense or something, I'm like, because in later seasons, it's more John doesn't have the time to, criticize people's work ethics or, their effectiveness. Or emotionality. Me, season 1, Jonathan Sims. Because now we're stopping the apocalypse, and I kind of just want you guys not to die. I don't really care about a job. I care more about saving your lives and making sure you guys aren't being harassed by the eye god that controls us. So yeah, oh my god, someone joined, but I was about to wrap up. But yeah, I was about to wrap up. But yeah, really cool episode. Started with a cool, flip side to the Daedalus vast experiment. And then some... No one's coming, right? Really... Some really I'm scared my sister was coming. Because I heard, a lock being... turned, some crazy terrible gossip, and then terrible gossip. I'm so glad that gossip happened. That was the highlight of my day. What happened after was not the highlight of my day. Georgie being fucking blackmailed and like harassed by Elias being like, stop trying to kill me. I'm going to make you, know how your dad suffered, and if you try to kill me, you're gonna have that image burned into you for the rest of your life. Buried. I'm turning into a British person. Stop it, Magnus Archives. Buried into your mind forever. So that was fun. What a fun episode. Oh, I'm too hyper because I just had coffee and I've been falling asleep all day, so that's probably why I've been acting insane. Unlike the last one where I was barely awake. What am I doing? Let me look at the beholding list. Oh, it's funny. It's called the beholding list because it's like the watching list. Like you watch. Oh, people have left. I'm alone again. It's like these are the episodes to watch. Get it? Beholding. Oh. Okay. Which episode is my next to watch? This episode was 106. Okay, I have a couple episodes that it says I don't exactly need to watch. It seems the next episode on the list is 111, so that's 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 4 episodes that it says I could watch on my own, but I don't know exactly because I can never trust this sheet because it sometimes screws me over. I'm still talking about freaking Uncanny Valley. Let me look at this latest sheet. It still looks like... I can... If anything interesting starts happens, I may... I don't know. I may stop and like come to the recording computer, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, for now, I guess I'll for the first time in 50 years, I'll be watching on my own. Oh my god, someone just joined. I'm sorry. I'm at the end. I'm an hour in. I just finished the episode, and I have no idea why my sister isn't coming back to the apartment, but I'm not gonna risk it because she usually eats here. And yeah, I'm gonna end here. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it was a great episode. It was really cool. Like 3 little segments I talked about that were all very interesting. Love that vast shit. Oh, let me get my thing. I feel like I've shown it to you before. You guys remember Simon Fairchild? Why does that guy keep showing up? Who is he? Why is he old? Why does he like the sky so much? Why did he say enjoy sky blue? What is it? What kind of incantation is that? Yeah, one of my favorite episodes for no reason, just because like I listened to it like half asleep and I felt like I was in a trance listening to it. Yeah, and then Simon Fairchild started showing up all the time, and then I started like I accidentally overreacted every time he showed up because of how like insane this episode was, where he was just like this old guy whispered in my ear and said enjoy sky blue, and I fell for like an hour, like, and then he got swallowed by the sky. Oh my god, I almost forgot. But yeah, I got it from the Magnus Archives merch store. I also got another like fan made one on Redbubble, but I like the shirt. Goes good with a black long sleeve underneath and black jeans, tucked in too. Makes me look like I'm about to go get eaten by the sky or something. I'm like, oh my god, the vast. I know. I said, is it? I don't know what my people have like like entities like Hogwarts houses, and I'm like, I like the vast a lot. I like the existential like wideness thing, the existential like size of the universe, and it's just my dealio. I love that. But in terms of my hair sticking up, and I keep hating it. Stop! It's under my headphones. I can't do anything. But yeah, enjoy Sky Blue. Simon Fairchild. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's my like college apartment, by the way. I'm here on the weekdays and I hate it. I got a West Side Story poster. I love that movie, the Sondheim one. I don't care about the old one. Sorry, but yeah, Sondheim one, the Spielberg one. Both of them are Sondheim. All of them are Sondheim. He wrote the whole music of it. But yeah, I love the shirt. It's fantastic. I love the design. No one's noticed it because this is a niche series apparently, even though it should be mainstream. I wear it all the time, but I have a sweater that says all of the entities on it, which I bought because I like the design and I like the idea of all of the entities, but also I don't know all the entities. So when I got it out of the box, I turned it around immediately and hung it in my closet, and I have not read all of the entities on my own sweater because it's a spoiler. And when I finally probably finish like this season or next season, I can finally wear it for the first time ever. Maybe I can wear it without looking down. I usually don't do that. I don't know why this became a merch sharing session, but yeah, it's I just wanted to do something for the person that just shut up. I felt bad. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off. Sorry. I was gonna I was hoping they'd leave because I feel bad. Well, I guess they're gonna automatically leave when I end stream. But yeah, signing off into the next dimension. Nobody will be there, and nobody will be there. This feels like a sad little lonely tale. Next dimensions. How iconic for this episode. How appropriate. Signing off into the next dimension. Nobody will be there. Don't get eaten by space or the things in between space, between space and you and space.